My name's Kevin McMullen. I've been a mentor since the start of the academic year, so around about 8 months or so. I work in mental health. I think in the line of work that I do, it's really common to see a lot of difficulties in adulthood easily traced back to rough times at school, rough times at college, and I think that if we can create a little bit of a space to sort of go back and sort of offer some support that probably wasn't there for the adults that I'm working with, we might be able to sort of change the trajectory of people's lives. And that's a bold statement, but it's kind of the aim, I think, that sort of motivated me to get involved in the first place. Mentoring to me is about walking alongside somebody. We're not there to influence and direct and teach and things like that, but it's giving people a little bit of space, giving young people a little bit of space to explore, to make mistakes and come back with a sort of really sort of unrelenting positive regard for what they've done, what they're trying to do, and someone to really lean into. So I think for me, trying to sort of offer that shoulder, if you like, where young people can be given permission to try and fail, and it's okay. And as I say, that shoulder will always be there. I think there's a real sort of assurance there, and just to try and sort of prop the young person up is something that's really sort of key to what we're trying to do. Our first meeting was in a room, and I was nervous. There's absolutely no two ways about it. I was really sort of apprehensive because, as we've mentioned, the training's great, the one-to-one is great, the interviews are great, and they all sort of line you up to sort of hit the ground running. So I think I went in there with an expectation of I've got to hit the ground running. Where that really sort of eased off a little bit was when I met the young person that I'm working with, because they are just a young person. The first question I was asked was, "Do you like football?" And then there was a sort of palpable ease in the room. It can feel really daunting, like we're all getting into something that's new to most of us, I think. And like anything new, there's an apprehension with that. But behind that, it's having a conversation with somebody. It's having a conversation with somebody that might need a little bit of help. And when you sort of step outside of that, it's really easy. And it got really, really easy, really, really quickly. I think the connections that we formed were anchored around football, but what we tried to do is sort of use that as a little bit of a linchpin to talk about broader things. So I'm a football coach. The young person that I'm working with is a football player. So we use that as an anchor point and try to talk about things like friendships, like talk about knockbacks, like talk about dealing with sort of resilience and overcoming challenge and things like that. So that's the benefit of having that common bond, I would think. Outside of that and around of that, we do talk about other things in terms of things like career progression. The young person that I'm working with is involved in loads of clubs that are great, and I'm learning loads about that. So we try to shape the conversations really around something that I know is going to hook the young person into the conversation, something that they're really passionate about, and use that as a sort of driver for broader conversations about sort of next steps and where that might take us. What I've learned is that we've got to meet the young people where they are. Football is one passion, and it's quite easy to have conversations around that. Other things is around the career progression. There's aspirations to go into the army, which is something that I don't know much about, but it's a really good avenue to talk about things like discipline and authority figures and like responsibility, which tends to take us into conversations a little bit closer to home about school and favorite lessons and which lessons do you find challenging and what can you learn from one that you can apply and use with the other. There's a lot of sort of underpinning soft skills there, I think, that we can tap into and sort of use in social aspects, but also like developmental aspects as well, and try to use that, and as I say, try and maintain interest. I think if you talk to young people about discipline, I think they might probably switch off fairly quickly, but if you put it in the context of the work that you're doing in the Territorial Army, or running a football coaching session, suddenly it links and suddenly it makes sense, and there's a more sort of meaningful conversation to be had there. I think I've probably had 3 key sort of moments where I've sort of thought, wow, we've really hit something there. The first one was a few weeks in, where I got called Kev, which is a massive step, I think, for a young person to call an older person by their first name. So I thought, we're doing something here. We're really sort of forming connections and relationship building there. So that was a really good moment. I think a couple of other things are when I've seen the young person was invited to speak at a sort of regional dinner, business dinner, which would have been really, really daunting for anyone, I think, and they were super excited about that, and that was a real testimony to the work that they've been doing at school and with their work through the Territorial Army. So to see that real sort of pure joy, I think, is probably the best word for it. That was a real sort of special moment to think, whatever it is that we're doing, we're playing a small part in contributing to success stories like that. And similar experience when the science teacher came out to the yard where we were playing football, and told the young person that they'd been moved up to the top set in science. Again, that was really great to just sort of step back and let him have that moment, because he'd done the work, and to think that the hour a week that we spent together might have played a small 1 or 2% part in that was real sort of, I think, assurance for me, but sort of real sort of great to see. And again, that joy is the word. He's really, really excited. He's really, really enthusiastic about school, and to get those rewards, and to be sort of privileged enough to see young people when they get those rewards is really special. Young people do have an idea of where they want to go. They might not know the exact details, but they've got an idea and they've got a plan, and that's the young person I'm working with is no different. They want to explore opportunities in the army. They're already making great progress in that, and I suppose I think if you were to ask them what success looks like in the future, I think that would be that. It would be to continue that development, to continue with that path that he's on, because that's something that's really special to him. So I think my hopes would be that we can create a little bit of a guide, a little bit of a pathway to sort of make sure that he continues on the great work that he's already doing. I think mentoring has really positively impacted me in so much that I'm learning to see the world through the lens of somebody that's a young person. I'm 40-something-year-old man, and the way I see the world and the way I view the world and what I see as a big issue and what I see as a small issue is a little bit irrelevant. And I'm learning that. I'm learning that it's not my session, I suppose. It's the young person's session, and we need to be really respectful and mindful of how these young people see the world. That's something that I think if I was asked the question about a year ago, I think I would have given a very different answer to. So I think that's definitely learning on my part, that I've been able to think and learn and experience. Hang on a minute, maybe I don't have all the answers, because we're coming at it from completely different aspects, and learning that that's okay, and just giving a little bit of space for the young person to share what they think and share what their view of the world is and what their challenges are, because they are what matters. And so I think relevance and understanding is something that's really sort of I've really come on in that respect. I think I would have given a very different answer a year ago, and that's probably to the experiences that I've had through the program. I think the top 3 qualities that a mentor could bring to a young person, first of all, is patience, and I say that in so much that we're really keen when we register and go through the process that we hit the ground running, when actually, you know, sometimes a quiet week is a really good week. Stability is really good. So, you know, those weeks where you probably feel like you're not doing much, you probably are doing a lot, and I think I'm learning that. So I think there's you know, patience is something really crucial, really critical. I think commitment is massive, and as it should be. You know, I think you know, these are young people. They're important people at an important part of their life. You know, so you know, if you're able to put some time in, you know, what you get out is much greater. You know, so I think patience, commitment, and I think really easily friendly. I think you know, being really unwavering in your support, unwavering in your ability to be on the side of that young person. You know, being this age is difficult. We probably all found it difficult. You know, friendships come and go. We have teachers that we get on well with and teachers that we don't. So those relationships are really transient. So if you can be a permanent friend and someone that they know will always be there through whatever else is going on, I think that's really crucial. To try and encourage more adults to come forward to join the programme, I would say a key thing is it doesn't feel like work. You know, I think we all live busy lives and we've all got a lot going on. I think the hour that you spend with a young person, it's you know, we talk about some difficult things, we talk about some tough things sometimes, but it still doesn't feel like work. It might look like you're signing up to a job. It might feel like you're signing up to a program that requires reading and training and things like that, and all of those things can sound daunting. But actually, when you get through it, the hour of the week is probably one of the most rewarding, and it's probably one of the easiest ones because it's good fun. It's good fun, and it doesn't feel like work. And I think that's probably the key thing that I would mention to anyone thinking about doing it. Don't think of it as adding to your already busy lives. Think of it as having an hour out and being able to do something really, really positive with that hour out.